Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Faerie Frequency, where we talk about manifestation, spirituality, real life stories and advice, and how to live your highest timeline. Be your best self, be the best version of yourself, and just be yourself, be real, which is needed in this day and age. So, hi, welcome back. It's Sophia Sadie. So, hi everyone. Yeah, I've been coming to some realizations lately about how I hold myself in a way, or my beliefs about myself, which are really important because there's a funny thing that happens that what you believe about yourself, other people will start believing about you too. So it's really important what we believe about ourselves. And it is very much up to us in many ways what we choose to believe about ourselves, right? We can create so much about who we are with just our beliefs, if not all of what we are. So I think because of things in my childhood, I was often told I was wrong, or the way I felt was wrong, or most of who I was wrong. So that inner belief, that subconscious belief has stuck with me. And yes, my nails are broken, but we're getting it fixed. Okay. Anyways, my mom. So that inner belief has very much stuck with me, and it's made some people around me believe that too. Subconsciously, it creates that. So they think that they are entitled to tell me how to behave, or something about my personality is wrong, or I'm not doing something the right way or enough when it comes to just behavior or personality. And I realize it's because I have this underlying belief that has been programmed into me to believe that something about me is wrong. So I've fully realized that and come to a place of understanding that my personality is my personality. I know fully that I'm an empathetic, kind, loving person that cares about others, and I have a good personality. I have a good inner soul and being and outer aura and everything. Like, I have fully come to peace and love for who I am. So if people don't like my personality or who I am, that's a them problem. I don't need to shift and change to fit other people's ideas of who I am or how I should act. Because I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not doing anything wrong. And I'm not actually doing anything negative. It's just who I am. So that was a realization I came to, that I did have this underlying feeling and belief that something about me was wrong, and I needed to kind of alter who I was based on what other people were picking up and telling me that they wanted me to be like and behave like, when I don't behave in a wrong way when it comes to general day-to-day things. Maybe I've had maybe I have strong reactions or attitudes sometimes, which isn't perfect. I'm not saying that doesn't need to be changed. Everyone has that in times in their life. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying that overall, my personality and who I am does not need to change based on what other people want me to act or be like, because there's nothing wrong with it. So that was interesting. I've also realized recently, I've gone to a lot of mom groups. I've met a lot of moms since becoming a mom. And I've realized that, well, it's obvious. It's not even something I had to come to a realization to, that just so many of these moms are very catty and cliquey that I've met. Not all of them. I've met some really nice ones, but I'm saying the rude ones stick out and it's difficult, and it makes me not want to go to these mom groups anymore. I'm still going to go to some of them maybe. Well, yeah, like the baby ballet. But it's like I don't want to be around it anymore. Why am I subjecting myself to mean girl catty behavior? And when I was like a bottle girl, there's obviously mean girl behavior, right? And I would try to kill them with kindness and be super nice and do everything, just be extra to just make these women nicer to me, and it never worked. If anything, it kind of made it worse or perpetuated it because they wanted a negative reaction from me and I never gave it to them, and that kind of triggered them more. So my thing with mean girls and cliquey girls, which I would not expect moms to be this way, but it's like a thing in the mom community apparently, of moms being cliquey mean girls, which I think this thing with the movie Mean Girls made people believe that it's the pretty girls that are mean, but I'm gonna here to tell you that it's never the pretty girls. It's usually the ones that are jealous, because when I meet super pretty women, not that, okay, I'm just gonna say, when I meet super gorgeous, pretty women, not all the time, but a lot, they're super sweet. So, I don't know. Usually it's just like the ones that are jealous and that are the mean girls, the haters, the ones that purposely and obviously, it's like, it's one thing if they're like behind the scenes rude about you, which is still messed up and I wouldn't do. But it's another thing when it's like blatantly obvious and anyone around can see it. You know, like when you purposely ignore someone or don't acknowledge someone or are rude or say underhanded things. When it's obvious, it's like, why are you doing that? Everyone knows it's coming from a place of insecurity. If they, well, not everyone's a deep thinker, so I don't know if everyone knows that. But I know that. So it's just like got to a point where I'm like burnt out from it. And even like really close girlfriends I've had in the past, they get this jealousy and I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's a thing. There's no reason to be jealous of anyone. Just work better on yourself, work more on yourself. If I see someone with something that I want or wish was part of my attributes, I just work on myself more. And if I don't want to become that, then why would I be jealous of it, you know? So yeah, it's just something you need to sort out in therapy or with just like contemplation and meditation. But it's a lot. Sorry, my nose is like running, I think. So I really want to get a new setup where you can see more of my torso and stuff, and I'm like on a comfy chair or something, like a puffy chair. So I think that's like the future, and then have like a neon sign that says Faerie frequency behind me. So that's kind of like my future vibe, I think. But for right now, it's chill. It's just like when I do the shorts and stuff, it's like super zoomed in, and I just want to like more full body. We'll do that in the future. But anyways, so yeah, I'm just burnt out of the mom groups. And honestly, just female friends in general. I'm not even really like trying to make new female friends right now. That I honestly could be putting in more effort to, but I'm like burnt out, and I'm not anymore in my life. I'm not going to shrink myself to make other people comfortable. I'm just not going to do it. And that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. And if I have to stay away from certain people that are triggered by that, then I will, you know, like I'm not going to shrink myself anymore. I'm not going to make myself digestible. You're going to have to learn how to chew. Okay. I just don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it anymore. It's like I'm in a new era, and I'm not going to tone down my brightness and my aura to make other people feel better, because that's unfair to myself, and my self-worth is blossoming to a point that I just will refuse to do that anymore. So I'd rather just not be around those people that are triggered by me having self-worth and me shining in my rightful sovereign birthright to shine and be myself. And yeah, I have high standards for myself. I'm not a mediocre person. I'll never have mediocre standards, and it's fine if you do, but I don't. And I will always strive to be the best, but it's me against me. I'm not in competition with anyone. I want everyone to do the best for themselves. And I'm not in put down or anything. Like, I want everyone to thrive and strive for their goals and be their best self. But I'm not going to put myself around people that don't want that for me, right? That doesn't make any sense. So, they say it's lonely at the top, and it is until you find your people, and you will find your tribe, but it is a lot less people because a lot of people are fine with mediocrity, but then deep down they get jealous, right? You can be your highest self, the most beautiful, the most talented, the most successful version of yourself. You can be, but you have these beliefs that are holding you back, and you don't even realize it sometimes because it's subconscious. So, like, I was always pretty, but I'm a lot prettier now because I manifested it. I did. And that's just how things work. And then I noticed the hate ramping up. I always got hate from girls just for existing. But as I got more beautiful, it ramped up. So, like, I could see that happening. But yeah, so it's like, if you want to be whatever you want to be, you can be it. You can be your highest self. But you have to visualize it, and you have to believe it's possible for yourself. And it can happen. And I think a big part is also wanting it for other people too, because if you don't want it for other people, then there's something there. There's something there that you feel like you can't have it. So it's also in wanting it for others and wanting others to thrive and be their highest self and their best life. So, and also I'm just noticed, when I lived in Utah before I moved to Santa Cruz, it's just like I had all these friends and friend groups, and we were drinking, partying, drugs, da 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 da. If I were to have stayed in Utah, I probably would have stayed. I mean, I was really sad when I first moved to Santa Cruz. I wanted to move back to Utah because I missed my friends so much. I missed all the people, all the partying, da da da. And I would have stayed in that a lot longer, obviously, if I stayed there. But because I was in Santa Cruz, I had to form new aspects to myself. I became a lot more spiritual. I was always spiritual, but I really delved into my spirituality and beach life, mushroom life, whatever, and I met spiritual people there, and it just like, it opened a whole new side to me. And you've got to let go of things that don't align with who you're trying to become in order to become it, right? If you're always staying around people who are drinking and you're trying not to drink, it's going to be near impossible to stop drinking, because I tried to stop drinking so many times while living in LA, but I was around all the people I were around, drank all the time, asked me to go out and would be drinking. My job full of drinking. So I would try, and I would make it 8 days, then I would make it a couple weeks, then I would keep failing, and it's like I only was able to fully stop once I removed myself from that environment, because those vibrations and those circumstances were pulling me back to that old vibration that I was actually trying to leave. And I think God and the universe saw that, and they pulled me out. And that happened in Santa Cruz too, because I really was done with the partying. I was so over it in Utah, deep down and on a soul level. Even though I loved being around my friends, I was just burnt out from it. And the universe pulled me out of there. And then it happened again, I think, and even with manifestation, the universe, the higher power, everything responds to your intention and your deep intention, your deep yearning, and your soul, like what vibration your soul's at. So the universe energy doesn't lie. The universe knows where you're really at. You can't fake it. And the universe always saw I was ready for something more, and I was vibrationally ready and I was consciously ready. I just needed to be pulled from that environment. And I was when I was vibrationally ready. So I think it's a good thing if your life shifts, and you're pulled from environments that aren't conducive to your highest self. That means you're growing. That means you are raising your vibration and becoming your higher self and who you're meant to be. And, we're constantly growing, evolving, and unfolding into who we're meant to be if we're on the right track, right? So every day I'm grateful that I stopped drinking. Every day, hangovers are the worst thing ever. In August, it will be 2 years since I've had any alcohol, and I'm just so blessed and grateful because I've never felt better, and I would never go back, honestly. Alcohol was not good to me. And it's just not good for any part of your being, right? It's just not good for you. So I'm very grateful that that part of my life is over, because it would take me days to feel like myself again, after drinking. And I just feel mental clarity, everything. Your body feels better, everything feels better, your mental health, I'm just grateful that, and the universe saw my intention. I multiple times had tried to stop drinking, and I was over the partying. I was like turning down going out, and then my whole life shifted, and I was really over the LA lifestyle. And when I had really said that out loud and really realized that fully, that I was just done with this era of my life, I wasn't aligned with it at all, my life shifted right after that. And then David and I got together and everything changed. And I think it's a good thing to let go of old parts of your life. And I think a lot of people stay stuck. They stay stuck in friend groups. They stay stuck in things. But then they're not going towards who they really want to become. So I think it's important to identify what is aligned with who you're trying to become and what isn't. And you've got to learn to let go. I'm the queen of letting go, but sometimes you got to learn not to let go too much, because I let go of too much in my past. But I'm learning the balance, So, yeah. So that's like my vibe is just strive to be your best self always, and the right people will come into your life and be in your life, and that's how it's meant to be. So yeah, I'm just like, I think I had this thing where I wanted to make mom friends. I wanted to be aligned with these other moms, and I actually really did try. And now I'm kind of over trying because it really wasn't aligned. And I feel like these people, some of them, and this might sound harsh, but I'm in my new era that I feel for myself is that I'm unhinged. Not in a bad way, but I'm unhinged in the way where I'm just going to be myself and say what I think, even if it sounds rude sometimes. People are probably like, I thought you were already doing that. I'm like, yeah, girl, it gets more intense. But so I'm in my unhinged era. So yeah, some of these people that you meet might be spiritually dead, and you want to be friends with them, but they're spiritually dead. Not that they can't be resurrected spiritually and become spiritually aware and awake. But what I mean by spiritually dead is, say you show up somewhere and you're acting off, like your words are jumbled or something like that, or you're tired or whatever. Spiritually alive people will see that and be like, oh, she's going through this transit, or she's doing this, or she's, probably going spiritual transformation, the spiritual thing, whatever it may be. Spiritually alive people will see it from that higher perspective. Spiritually dead people will be like, she's weird, she's this, she's off, she's not our vibe, she's not, this, that, or the other, into the medical system, which is probably why some of the moms don't like me, because I posted about not being into the medical system, if you know what I mean, for babies on the schedule, So spiritually dead people will see it from that perspective, and they will see a negative perspective when it comes to you and bring you down, right? So that's why I want to be around spiritually alive people, right? I want to be around creative people, spiritually alive people who see you and they see you from a spiritual perspective. And that's rare. It is rare. But at some point, us people who are spiritually alive and spiritually awakened and in our higher selves and growing and learning, at some point we have to put up more energetic boundaries and walls if we want to keep going on this path, because you're going to come to the realization at some point that these spiritually dead people are never going to see you for who you really are, and they're always going to see you in a perspective that's not you, and it's energetically draining to be around. And it's damaging to be around because it can affect you energetically for weeks, months, however long, until you identify what energetically is throwing you off, right? I'm just very sensitive to energy, so this might not make sense to other people, but my aura just triggers people, honestly. And yes, I'm a Pisces, and people who don't get that, which is a lot of people still, unfortunately, but it's changing, Sometimes the things I do and say don't make sense. Sometimes I don't understand directions. I mean, Saturn's in my sign, so I'm kind of learning this stuff, but people who don't get it don't get me, right? So I don't know what else to go from there. I feel like Pisces need people who are spiritual in their lives, or just we don't make sense to people. I'm just going to say. This is why Pisces love spirituality. Well, it's one of the many reasons, but we don't make sense to unspiritual people. I'm serious. Especially the spiritually awakened Pisces. Like, people who are not spiritual to Pisces, to them, are like, they're like, what is up with this? They're like, don't get us. They don't. So, yeah. I'm just done with the catty and the spiritually dead people. So I think my baby's awake, you guys. I'm talking too loud. She's teething. She's having sleeping problems, but this was kind of a long episode, but yeah. Oh, wait. Is she awake? Well, I just want to say one last thing, that I'm going to have to come back, you guys. So, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to come back. So, I just want to say that energy is energy. So, if someone throws negative energy at you, you can transmute that, and that is more energy for you to manifest and, in general, heighten your frequency. So, energy is energy. Just remember that.